And we begin with a breaking update concerning the staggering increase in net worth of Representative Ilhan Omar, whose personal fortune has coincidentally managed to skyrocket while an alleged multi-billion-dollar fraud scheme was picking up steam and right under her nose. Investigators are now probing just about everything having to do with the Somalia-born lawmaker, including the financial backing behind her current husband's venture capital firm, which she claims has a net worth now of as much as $25 million. In her most recent financial disclosure statements, Omar says that in just 1 year, the organization, which she launched with her husband back in 2022, rose from being nearly worthless to its current astronomical value. A number of people are now extremely curious as to how and why that company became worth so much, and virtually overnight. And apparently Omar and her third husband, Tim Minette, they are well aware of that fact also. According to reports, as the Minnesota fraud scandal recently grew to include more and more members of the local Somali community, the pair decided to overhaul their company website and remove all of the names of the bios of all the organization's key officers, their advisors as well. Gosh, I'm thinking out loud, but I hope they're not trying to hide anything. Now, digging a bit deeper, it's what we do. We dig. It seems that many of those individuals whose names were removed are directly related to the Democratic Party. They include a number of financial gurus who worked at the highest levels for the Democratic National Committee, our pals at the DNC, as well as a couple of former ambassadors who served during the Obama administration. Furthermore, Omar and her husband are also partners in a highly questionable wine company that's been sued in the past for fraud and whose value also recently went through the roof. On her congressional form, she claims that in 2023, that company was worth less than $50,000. And follow this math, she now pegs its value at nearly $5 million, despite no evidence that it's engaging in any kind of business at all. Now, that's worth kind of whining about for a bit. Even more suspiciously, neither of her husband's companies has a fixed permanent address, with each claiming that their offices are located at a widely used community workspace. Well, that doesn't sound too suspicious. Additionally, their wine company apparently doesn't even sell wine anymore. According to one report, the organization's website link is broken, the phone number's been disconnected, and the company hasn't posted to social media for years. You got to kind of wonder what's in that wine. Omar has been keeping oddly quiet about all those recent developments. In the meantime, she continues to be linked directly to a number of convicted Somali fraudsters, including several who donated thousands of dollars to her campaign, all of which she claims that she has returned. Final thought, and this is the News Roundup Lowdown. Disclaimer, you may not like what I'm about to say, but hunker down, America. Nobody else is going to say it, so I'll be the first. Get off her back. Here's the deal, and hear me out. Over the past several weeks, this Ilhan Omar person, and I like her. I think she has a very welcoming smile. Look at that pretty smile. She's been dominating the headlines, and tons of folks have been suggesting that she's not exactly on the up and up. So, people have written to us kind of complaining about the Congresswoman, the exorbitant amount of fraud which occurred in her district, Minnesota's fabulous 5th, and the dozens of people who've been convicted for a variety of crimes related to fraud in her state. Now, over the weekend, I corresponded with tons of folks on this channel who were telling me that what she's done financially by going from zero to hero, absolutely impossible. And I take exception to that. Instead of vilifying the esteemed representative, we should all be patting her on the back for being creative, hardworking, and walking, talking proof that anybody in our great country can get rich quick if you know what you're doing. Perhaps instead of complaining about her, you'll do what I did, and that's buy a brand new book, which is almost guaranteed to help you get filthy rich and pretty darn quick. The name of that new book is called How to Snag $30 Million Almost Overnight on a Government Employee Salary for Dummies. Yeah, it's a fantastic book, a real page turner, and a real quick read. Fraud? Yeah, it's what the cynics are saying, but I say buy the book, make a quick buck, and live happily ever after. What are you thinking? Leave us a comment. Let us know if you plan on buying that new book. After all, you want $30 million, don't you? I want my $30 million.